Hello my crafty friends, Corrine here from Corrine Crafts. I hope you are well. Oh, have I got a gorgeous project to show you. Look at this. I hope you can see it in the light because I've got the lights on. Isn't that absolutely beautiful? It's very mixed media. We've got the flowers just here. We've got our rice paper in the background and we've got some stamping over here. I love these flowers. They're a pack of flowers that I've had floating. Look at these lovely little flowers floating around my craft room for ages. Now what I'm going to show you is I have some printable, they call it Sumi paper. It's just a rice paper, as you can see. I'm going to show you how you can get it through your printer because it's such a low GSM. Does it say on here? Doesn't actually say. Oh, 26 GSM. I think I say different in the video. 26 GSM. So it's very, very fine. But I'm going to show you a neat little trick so that you can get it through your printer. If you don't have something like that, then just use a pre-made rice paper like this. This one's from Imagination Crafts. This one I've got in my stash. You could use that, or you could print your own, and then you can put together something like this. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? I love the texture, the dimension, the different heights, all the extra little bits. I'm going to show you now how this is made. After the love and success of my napkin card, I thought I would do something but make it a little bit different, of course, because you don't want to see the same thing. And I thought I would do a project using rice paper. Now this is printable rice paper. So what I've done is I've gone into my artwork and I found an image, and the image was this one that I really liked, and I've just had a play around with it. I've softened the edges. I think this one is at full opacity, so you know it was as dark as it goes, and then on these I've just lightened it and I've just repeated it onto the screen so that I've got 4 copies of it, and as you see it gets lighter and lighter, and I've done that absolutely on purpose because I want a really light one, but I want one that's quite strong. Now the top tip I can give you for printing on something like rice paper or Sumi paper, natural paper, is it's about a GSM of about 16, 18. It's really, really fine. It's finer than copier paper. This is copier paper, and you can see it's a lot thicker. So the way to get it through your printer is to spray your copier paper with a repositionable glue. Now I've just used my stick and spray, sprayed it all over, but you must spray onto your piece of copier paper. Then you can come along and you can stick, let me see if I've got a blank piece. Oh, there it is. You stick your printable natural paper on to the copier paper like that, and it will stick. You can see, look, that's stuck lovely, but the adhesive is always on the bit you're going to throw away, and that will not get sticky. That will then go through your printer and it will print brilliantly. There's always a print side and a non-print side. It's the smoother side, and this is the one that I have printed, and you can just see I've just played around with some artwork on my PC, and I've just, you know, changed the size, changed the opacity, softened the edges, and done like that so that I get this piece like that, and that is what I love. So I'm going to put it on a card, but I want to show you my card base first. So this is one of my preferred sizes. Now I know in the US you'd get charged more to do square cards. So this would actually work as a rectangular card, because what you could do is you could make it taller. So 5 3/4 and a 5 1/2, or just over 5 1/2 inch piece of card. You get them out of a sheet of A4, no problem. So you could go 5 3/4 by a bit taller to make it rectangular, and again with the smaller one. So I got my 5 3/4, so that's going to be my matte layer, and this is going to be my top layer. So all I've done, as you can see, look, I'll just show you on here, is I've just cut it down ever so slightly. Can you see? So you've got that perfect matte around there, white on white, but you'll see why I've done that. Okay, so what I can do is I brought my card base in. This was a 7-inch card that I've just trimmed down. Let me just tell you, it's just trimmed down, so it's come out at just shy of 6 1/2 inches. It's about 6 3/8 inches wide. So yeah, it's a nice size. And I found this green card, so I've taken out the centre. I've just chopped out the centre before I've done it, so I can use that again, because that's a lovely green, and I think I'm going to use that on a lot of leaves. And then I'm going to stick this piece of white onto there. So I'm just going to stick it on with a regular glue. Don't worry about the centre missing. Even if you get a dip in your card from trimming out the centre, I've got another layer going on top. So it's really, really not going to show. So this is going to go on there. And you can see why I didn't need all that green behind. Wet glue is my glue of choice. I was such a tape girl when I first started crafting. Let me just put the lid on that. I always use tape, but I just find now I've got the more accuracy. I'm getting a more professional result by using a wet glue. This is my stamp pressure tool, but I just go over just to smooth out that glue and to get it perfectly bound. And by using something like your tacky glue or your bookbinding glue, I can just wipe away any glue leaks like that. So I'm going to pop that to one side to dry. If you watch my channel, you know I like tent fold cards, but this would work easily as well on a side folding card. But don't forget, this could easily work as a rectangular card. So put that to dry, and I'm going to bring back this piece here. So this is the piece we're going to be working to. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these. I think I'll start with I want it really quite a light one. So all I do is I get some water, and you're even privileged enough to have clean water, and I'm just going to go round. I don't want it straight. I want it just, sometimes you have to go around twice if it's soaks it up. I'm going to take that one. Oops, just watch that. It's just dripped there. And I'm going to take this one, but this one actually, I just can just trim it out, because this one I'm going to be die cutting. So let's show you how easy it is. So once the water's had just a minute to go in, I can then, now the only thing is when you get a piece that's a fibre, look, it doesn't want to cut on that. So if you get a fibre like that, you might just have to cut through that. Because it's natural paper, you're going to find you get some quite big fibres. There you go. So now I've got through that, I can then just, now if the water's soaked in, there we go, there we are. Don't let it dry out too much, and don't worry if you don't like the shape, you can always trim it down. Now I can see a massive fibre there. It's not going to like that, it's not going to trim through that, but don't worry about that. It's natural paper, just trim through there. It's not going to show once we've finished, and then I'm going to pull it away. And then this one, all I would do is I would just pull it away like that. Now I've got two left, so I'm going to be able to do at least one more project, if not two, using that. Let's just rip to there. This one you could cut away if you wanted to be a bit more exact, because it doesn't, we're not going to use the rough edges. So let's put that to one side. If only you could see my crafting. Let's put that one to one side and bring this one in. Oh, I haven't done down these sides. Now my water's drying a bit quick, so I'm just going to, I've got a light on here and it's drying it out a bit quick. So let's just do that. You'll never get such a beautiful effect if you cut it with scissors. And it doesn't like you just to pull. You really do need the water, I think, personally. But look how easy it comes apart when you do have water on it. And like I say, if you've got a bit that you don't like, going in my recycling, if you've got a bit, you see, I think I could do with coming around here a little bit. Come around there. It's amazing how much you can fine tune it once it's on. There we go. Now I just need to trim this little piece. That is a big fibre. You don't normally get such big fibres, but there we are. Right, okay. So once I've got that, I'm going to take my card base, let's make sure it's dry, card topper, and I'm going to just glue it in place. Now you could use a diluted wet glue. I've just got, it's actually called napkin glue, but I quite like it for doing something like this. So all I'm going to do is, I'm not going to do it on there because I found, because this is home printed, the ink can just come off a little bit. I'm just going to go around the edges to begin with, just like that, all the way around, and then we're just going to just quickly go across the centre. You see, there we go, just across. Like I say, a diluted PVA would work, or whatever you want. A Mod Podge is equally as good. Oh, first topper, there it is. And then I'm just going to pop that onto it. Now I dripped a bit of water on there, unfortunately, but what I can do, actually, yes, that'll cover up. So we can put that on there. And then what you can do is just, I'm not going to put too much down that side, but I'm just going to go around on here. Now this, because it's home printing, you just got to be careful you don't over wet, just like I did there, but never mind, it'll still work perfectly. Okay, I'm just going to pop that in there. So once I've got that, I'm then going to have a go at making it a little bit more decorative. I just want to give it a quick blast with my heat gun to dry it out. If you were at home, you'd be able to give this a few minutes to dry. Just bear with me. So that is dry, and the reason I've just dried it up a little bit is because I want to do some stamping. So I found a couple of stamps, both just stamps from my craft stash, and I've got one here with the bubbles on, and that's on, I've just left it on the backing. And this one, you've seen me use this. I did a card, gosh, ages ago with this, and it's just some musical font, script, whatever you want to call it. So I've got a piece of scrap card as well. I'm going to bring that in, and I'm just going to get, I like this one. This is my VersaFine Claire Fallen Leaves. It's quite a nice colour, and I don't want perfect. So I've got, if you look on this, you can see I've tried not to capture all of it, but also I'm going to just pop it onto there. So I'm taking most of it off. Make sure I've got it the right way up. No, that way, right, yes, I think that's right. And then all I'm going to do is just stamp once, and I'll just grab my piece of scrap paper, and I'm just going to do a second one. There we go. So it's all very rough. I didn't want anything too perfect. And on top of that, I'm then going to get some yellow, just because there's quite a lot of yellow in it. And I'm going to dip my dotty one in, my like baubles. If you haven't got something like this, you could do this with a stencil. And then we're just going to pop this on. And I'm doing it without a stamping block because I don't want perfect. But there we go, look, so it extends the yellow. It's all going to work when we've finished. And then the final one I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it in my pink. And I've just got one of my Julie Hickey flowers, and I'm just going to do it. Now, I'm not going to blot this off, only because my pink's very pale. And you can see I've got the pink flower in there. So I'm just going to just do a few little pink stamps. Just to sort of, I know they're not the same, and I'm not trying to make it look the same, but it just sort of ties it all in, doesn't it? So just randomly, or just wherever you want to go. I just think it does there. Now, and then the last thing I'm going to do is, I'll do it this way. I've got dauber on the back of there, and I need my dauber holder, and I'm just going to get a little bit on there, onto the mat first, and I just want to do, oops, a little bit around the edge. There we go. It's not a lot, but especially as we're going to be putting onto a white card, I just think it looks nicer, and it just makes it look complete. There we go. I could do with a bit more glue, but we'll sort that one out in a minute. There we are. Right, that's all I'm going to do. So that is my topper. As simple as that. Really not complicated at all. Now, I've got one here that's, oops, nice and dry. You can see on there. So again, you know, just that lovely faded look. Now, I have put some foam tape on the back. That's my Sticks 2 foam tape. So if I bring my card base back in, let's move that out of the way because it's got pink ink on it. And I'm just going to take the backs off these. Now this card is actually really, really quick to put together. There we are. Ooh, I can't reach. Now I am going to put a little bit of glue on, just close the lid, just so that I can get it lined up perfectly, because I've got just under a quarter of an inch, well, it's about 1/8 of an inch, just over, of wiggle room. There we go, and I'm going to put that on there, like, oops. This is why I like having the wet glue, because you see, if you haven't got it quite right. Now, because I've just used regular stamping card, not a watercolour card, it's just buckling it ever so slightly. So all I'm going to do is make sure it's the right way. I'm just going to pop that one, which has still got my stamp attached, but it's fine. I'm just going to put that on just for 1 minute. Literally is 1 minute. And I'll show you what else I've prepared. Now, do you remember I cut this one out as well? This was the darkest one. I've done this one and I've stuck it onto a piece of scrap card, and then I've used my hexagon dies and I've die cut randomly in places. I don't know even know if I'm going to use all of these. I've just die cut out 4. Now I've got plenty of space left to cut even more out, but I've got those lovely 4 little die cuts, and if I bring this one back in, I can then, I'm going to actually just put that there so that I can see where I got them from. So that one goes just there. Now, can you see it's paler and this is a little bit darker? This one came from here. It came from there. This one came, which one is this one? From, I think that was from there. And then this one came from there, and I like how I've managed to get them quite nicely random. So let me find oh, these would work. I've got these sticks to circles. Oops. So all I'm going to do, take a foam dot, oops, and put it back on there. And again, if you want to put wet glue on to give you time to line them up, then do so. So all I'm going to do, oh, these aren't very sticky today, are they? I wonder if it's my craft room. There we are. And then that just gives me a chance to move it around to make sure it's in the right place. Just like that. There we go. I like that. That's looking pretty, isn't it? I like that. Again, another thing I thought you could have done is you could have inked around the edges of those if you really wanted to make them pop. Okay, so the next thing I want to show you is I found some more of my Julie Hickey foliage. So these are a stamp and die set, if I can find them. They are the fresh floral, those are the dies, and this is the stamp, so you get all of these in there. And I've just used a couple of these stamps and I've just stamped them on to, oops, I'm giving away my secrets, onto some card. And I've just coloured them with a couple of green pens. So all I've used is one of my favourites, dull green. I've just used 1 and 3 and just done a little bit of colouring. So I'll show you what I've got there. So I've just coloured in a couple, and I think that should be enough. I can colour in a few more if you want, if I need to, but we'll see if I can make it work with those. Oh, and I coloured in one of the bigger leaves as well. Okay, so the next thing I want to use is I want to use these flowers. These flowers, look at these, aren't they pretty? Now they come with these little bits on the back. I don't know what they're supposed to pop on, but all that happens is you can get a pair of scissors and cut that off, and then they are these lovely flowers. So I've got them in some whites, some greens and some pinks. Honestly, these literally fly round my craft room. They have been on the floor, off the floor, in the going up the hoover, getting them out the hoover, all sorts. They have been around for so long. I don't know how many of these I'm going to use. Now the other thing, and you've probably seen it flying around, I've got a little bit of sisal. I had a little bit more. There we are. But I really only want a tiny bit. There we are, that's what I've got. And I've got this. I was getting the flowers, and at the bottom of a container, it's chipboard, you know, that chipboard. And it's just a little scrap left over, but I thought, oh, I could use that. Isn't that pretty? This is really using scraps. And then I've tied a bow with some green twine, and it won't come untied because when I tied it, I put a little bit of tacky glue on there. So I think we should make this up. I got from my Hunky Dory word type booklet, I cut out happy birthday, and I've mounted it onto a piece of green from there. So I thought that's good, my sentiment. I thought I could have used black ones, but I actually think the off the brown one looks better. So I'm not quite sure where it's going to go just yet, so I'll leave that to 1 minute. And I want to trim this into a couple of little pieces. How do I want to trim this? I might just go across there. It's already broken at that side. Right, so this is going to come out of my flowers just like that, so I'm getting maximum use from it. There we are, just like that. So you can also use your sisal. Now, if you don't want to use sisal, you don't have to. You could get some ribbons, you could get some string, you could tie bows, make loops. It's entirely up to you. But I'm just going to pop it on there. I quite like sisal because it just gives a little bit of added texture to your projects. So I've just got some green and some white, and I'm just going to leave it like that. It'll capture itself. I'll do the foliage in a minute, but I've got to see how I want these flowers to go. So I don't want too many, but I want enough. So I'm just going to, because they're all the same size, so I'm just going to pop a couple on like that. It's hard to see, isn't it, until you start to glue them down. So I think I better had. So let's just take this out of the way. I think I might tidy up my sisal a little bit. So there we go. Let's just tidy up the sisal just a tad. Oops, and this has come off. So I wanted that just there, and I wanted that just there. So I'm going to put the sisal on. Hot glue is definitely in order today, so I'm just going to pop a little bit of hot glue on to capture the chipboard, and it will capture the sisal at the same time. So I'm quite happy that my flowers are going to go there, so it'll hide that the workings. So just pop a little piece of sisal on there. So just make sure it goes through the glue like that. There we are. Just perfect. And then I'm going to get, I think I need my tweezers. Squeezy tweezers are definitely best from that. And I'm just going to pop a little bit of glue on the back. If you want to, 3D glue would also work really well for this. So I'm going to pop one on. It's so much easier once they are fixed down with the glue. Let's put another one on. Put those. Do you know what? These are, they're fabric. They're ever so unusual. They're just like a, I don't know, polyester, polycotton, is that the right word? And they're just little fabric ones, but they are so pretty colours. I really, really do like them. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start to put some of my foliage in because I'm using hot glue. So let's tuck in a little bit of foliage just here. Remember, you can always trim your foliage down if you need to. And I'm going to pop another piece in there. Use your tweezers to help you. You see what I'm doing just there? There we go. And I've got another one just here. Let's see, does that want to go? No, I think that one might work really well. Just there. Right, okay. So I'm going to get another flower. This one's got a... Now, I don't know whether the flower came with that hint of orange or whether I've got it on an ink pad or something maybe. I really don't know. But they're so delicate. Let's pop that one on there. Let's get a green one next. And then I think a pink one should just about do it. Just a little bit of hot glue. Like I say, if you don't have hot glue, your 3D glue works really well too. I don't want to completely obliterate my image. And then let's do with a pink one. Let's go pink one. Just there. Right, I'll leave it for that for a minute. I've got my bow and I'm going to pop my bow on just there. It's quite a strong colour, isn't it? But again, I like to do them with that little bit of tacky glue on so I know it's not going to come unravelled. Let's just pop that in there. And that can go in there and round that flower. I'm going to trim off some of that bow in a minute. I think I want to see where my sentiment's going to go next. I think my I'm virtually losing that one, aren't I? But I think it works. Might just put that on there. Where does it want to go up here? Oh, I'm struggling now to decide where to go. Are you shouting at me where to put it? Definitely doesn't want to go down. It definitely needs to come down this way somewhere, doesn't it? This is because I don't make my projects up first. I sort of let them flow. Let me just trim a bit of this off while we're doing, so I've got a bit less. Oh, there we are. And I can try a little bit of this size off. Right, let me have another look. Oh, that's where I'm going to put it. I think I need a little bit of 3D glue. I could do the 3D effect with the hot glue, but I find that's a little, doesn't always work. There we go, 3D glue on there, and that will just allow it to level out. So let's just put that on there, and then it will level itself out. Now, the only thing I want to do now is, if you remember, I said I used my dull green. I've used my dull green to colour some of these. I've just put it back. Let me show you if I can get them the right shade again. All you need to do is you just go over them just like that. I think I might have done it with the darker one even. Yes, it was the darker one. There we go. Just all over the pearls like that. Just leave them to dry, and then you will have pearls that match your project. We like that. That definitely makes me happy. So I'm just going to get a couple of these. I might do, oh, where did that go? Can't see. Might do 3, might do 5. I haven't quite decided. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to do 5. A nice mix of places to put them on. There we go. And that is my gorgeous rice paper card. So I love that. And you see I've got these little bits, you've got texture, you've got your flowers coming out. They're very, very tactile, aren't they? A little bit of sisal, very mixed media, but I think that's really pretty. And then again, it sort of fades into the background. I love how I've stamped over it so that it just sort of blends into the card. You can see you've got fibres coming out, but I also love how you got the darker ones just there. I don't know, what do you think? I wasn't sure where we were going with that, but I think that looks really nice. Just unplug my glue gun because it's getting a bit hot. There we are. Let me know what you think. Now, I know you all loved the napkin, but does the rice paper one look as nice? I think that looks really pretty. It's very mixed media. I think I just need to adjust that. There's a little bit too much hot glue. That one's just standing a bit proud. We'll sort that in a minute. And there you are. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to leave me a comment. Click on the like for the video. That really helps me. Yeah, and I will be back very soon with another video. I'm busy recording plenty of videos as we speak. So yes, let's see what I bring you next time. So as always, there'll be another video on this side for you to watch, and there will also be my subscribe link on this side. And thank you to everyone that's contributed to my Buy Me a Coffee page. I really do appreciate it. So until next time, my crafty friends, you take care, and I hope you have a lovely time crafting. If you make something like this, please don't forget to share. Take care for now. See you soon. Bye.